Welcome to the second episode of the New Moon podcast, featuring Sandro Cazzato. Sandro is a coach and sales expert who grew to manage over 35,000 people in just 16 months. The people he manages are across Europe. Sandro has learned so much on his journey, and this podcast is to help share some of those lessons that he's learned so that maybe you can become more successful in your day-to-day life. In the last episode, we discussed Sandro's upbringing, what values he carries with him from his childhood, and kind of how that led you to where you are today, right, Sandro? So today I was hoping to dig even a little bit deeper into kind of your own management style, what success means to you, and maybe what failure means to you as well, because I know we all have our own definitions and different failures that have led us to become the people we are today. So without further ado, welcome, Sandro, to the second episode of the New Moon podcast.
Thank you, Ellie. Thank you very much. I'm very happy to be with you here. I just came back home from Zurich last night, so I'm excited to be now already in the studio and record with you the second podcast.
Yeah, it's wonderful. I heard you were at a conference in Paris. Is that right?
Exactly. So with my company, we organized a conference with more than 300 people. And I think we did a great job because I'm working with these guys over there just since a few months. So I had my time to get to know them a bit better, to dig also a bit deeper in what are my management styles and what I can bring as added value to the whole French-speaking community. And I'm very happy with the outcome of Saturday's event.
Oh, that sounds fascinating. So were you one of the speakers? Were there other speakers involved?
Yeah, so there was my team of managers. We prepared some educational content for this conference. And we were all in all 7 speakers on stage and offering some great value for the whole crowd who was there on Saturday.
That's incredible. I always find that if you go to speak at an event, you always end up taking with you so much more than you thought, because as you listen to the other speakers, sparks ideas, you kind of gain something that you could fit into how you're managing your team. Was that true for you? Did you learn from the other speakers?
Absolutely agree. You know, I knew the material already because I used it for the German-speaking and for the Italian-speaking community. Listening to the same material on French, exposed like by other people who weren't familiar with this kind of education. I took a lot with me. I'm honest with you. Also from people who I could say are not so experienced yet, but the way how they decided to bring this information to the people was very interesting, and there were some nice nuggets that I took with me at home.
Can you share something specific that you learned or that you gained from this past conference?
Yes, of course. There was, for example, an hour we spoke about storytelling. And there was a lady who was, for the first time on stage, she was like super nervous. I spent 15 minutes before she went on stage with her. She was like trembling. But it was very nice to see how she got calm and relaxed the second she was telling about her personal story. And it was the goal of this hour to explain people why is it more important to be able to tell your story than to tell some facts. Because as we know, with the stories, we sell the things, not with the facts. With the facts, we just tell the stuff. But with the story, we are able to sell it. So she got immediately more relaxed and confident when she was able to tell about her very emotional story. This clicked like crazy with the people in the audience, and she lost all the nerves,
anxiety,
exactly.
Yeah.
And she was able to do like a very good performance. I'm very proud of her. And so the way how she decided to do this and to even open up quite a lot for the fact that she didn't know all the people who were sitting there, about her past, about her very personal situation. This was for me, again, teaching. As you know, I'm still learning how to open up even more, as we spoke in the last podcast.
Yeah.
So I took this home from this hour.
That's so interesting. It's always a good reminder to make things more personal. I think a lot of us walk around with our walls up and we have everybody in an arm's distance. But as we spoke about in our last episode, it's actually what makes you a good leader is being vulnerable and being able to share those personal stories and making personal connections to your team and those around you. So that's an incredible insight to have gained from this conference.
Absolutely. And you know, French is also like a language which comes from the Latin roots. I'm not saying that the English and the Germans are like colder, but also the fact that it's the last time I spoke in French was like 20 years ago at school. So when I got the opportunity to lead also the French and Belgium team, I said immediately less, even though I wasn't fit in this language. So I really learned also a lot, not only in the speaking part, but also in the listening part, because they use other words. They are more emotional when it comes to how they talk than we are.
Yeah.
And yes, so I took many things at home that I didn't see that way. So
wow,
it was good, really good.
You bring up a really good point there. And I think for someone like you who manages such a big team, oftentimes we don't think about how to manage different cultures, different languages, people with different upbringings. There's no one size fits all management style because people are different and cultures are different. So what would you say? I mean, you just said the French language, it's a little bit more sensual, a little bit more emotional, really with those Latin roots. Is there anything else you notice about managing people across different countries and different cultures?
It's a good point. I want to stay for 1 second on the language part, you know. Basically, I could have decided to bring with me someone who would like do like a dolmetscher, you know, who would do the whole translation. But there is one thing that I understood is you will never touch the person in the heart when you are not able to talk with them in their language of the heart.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Yeah.
So I really put lots of effort and energy into learning the language, because first thing and most important thing on the same way is to touch people in the heart if you want to activate them, you know, to bring them to do something. And to come back to your question, I think it's one of the most important things that people underestimate. You cannot think of using the same management style with everyone. Every person is different. Every character is different. If you like to be bossy, that works for some kind of people. It doesn't work at all for other kind of people. So you need, as a manager, I think you need to be able to understand your counterpart. What kind of person is it? What does this person motivate? What are the objectives of this person? What's the character of this person? There are different personalities. I like to use also the structogram method to find out what's the personality of the person. It's one of the very few methods who are also biologically like approved.
Okay.
And so I use this as style to understand a bit who's the person I'm working with, what can I do to improve the communication with this person. Because, you know, Ali, I don't think that content-wise the message needs to change. What needs to change is how we gonna transmit the information. There is a category, for example, they like when you go straight to the point. They even got like nervous when you start to talk around. There are other people you need to touch them with sensitivity, with
being delicate.
Yeah, exactly, with gloves, and
Yes.
not too straight, not too direct.
Yeah.
And there are others who want to be touched in a different way. So the second you start to invest time
Mm-hmm.
in authentically wanting to find out who's your counterpart,
Mm-hmm.
when you are really interested into this person because you understood, okay, I'm going to collaborate with this person for the next few years.
Mm-hmm.
I want to establish a relationship, an authentic relationship for this person. I care about this person. My interests towards this person are sincere, and I want to make this person develop. I think that's the turning point. That's where many managers fail, because they think that's my management style and I'm gonna do it this way. Okay, it might work with 30% of the people, but the other 70% you will not gonna reach. That's the point.
I want to unpack some of what you just said in that amazing answer of kind of what makes a good manager and how to stand out from the rest. You mentioned this personality test. Can you, for any of our listeners who have no idea what you're talking about, who have never heard of a personality test, can you maybe share what it does, what you find out about yourself, maybe how to take one if you're interested at home, and what it tells the managers? So if a manager is listening and he administers one of these tests, how he can take that test and manage differently.
Okay. So our brain is composed by 3 parts. And each part is driven by the hormones that our body is releasing when we face certain situations. That's why I said it's biologically tested. Basically, you can do this personality test today. You can do it in 20 years. The outcome will be exactly the same because it's in your bio structure.
Okay.
So it's never going to change. What's going to change is you will know who you are, what drives you. You will get to know your weaknesses, and you will learn how to improve your weaknesses.
Okay.
But your personality is not going to change because of this. You just know how to manage your personality.
Okay.
So this test, you're going to answer a few questions. And
what's it called? The test?
Structogram.
Structogram. Okay.
Yes. And it's you're going to ask these questions, and it's going to divide basically the outcome in 3 colors. It's going to be blue, red, and green. The biggest part of the humanity is green. Then we have also lots of red people, and the smallest part are blue people. Every color represents one part of our brain. The cool thing is that everybody is everything. What changes is the amount of blue, the amount of green, the amount of red.
Okay.
And it's cool because usually the weakness comes out when we are under stress or under pressure. So also knowing, for example, that under stress you could become, for example, a red person, which is a very straight person, a person who's not afraid of going into conflicts. I'm not gonna put that much pressure on you, because I know it would end up in a conflict situation. Okay. Also knowing how you would end up when we are in a conflict situation is good to know that you would become red, because I know how I need to talk with red people when they want to go in a conflict situation with me, to bring them immediately again out of this conflict situation.
Okay.
So it's really something that I use day by day. It's not always easy to identify the major driver of a person. Sometimes they are even very good in hiding it or in letting you think they are like this, but at the end they are completely someone else. To be 100% sure, you need to let the person do the test. So this is something that I'm about to introduce in my whole organization.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to offer this kind of education also to my whole team, because I think that when you know who's your team, you can also establish a communication who is like made to measure for your team, which will make you like even more productive and more efficient.
Yeah, absolutely. It sounds like that test would be good for people who are managing, but also people who work under managers.
Absolutely.
And if you know what kind of communication style you work with best, or you know how you react in certain situations, you can have more productive conversations in all areas of your life. I imagine in your romantic situations, your family. Yeah.
Absolutely. And just to give an example, blue represents the people who are very structured, very disciplined, they love to plan, they love to have a perspective in life. So let's say you have someone like this in your team. This person who is very organized, you're gonna give them, for example, the task to do slides for you for your next presentation.
Okay.
You're gonna tell, hey, until tomorrow, 12 o'clock, I need these slides, please. This person is gonna tell you, thank you very much, and will deliver probably at 11:59. Okay, because it's a person who loves structure, who love to be organized, who love to do this kind of things, who need some precision and etc.
Okay.
If you go to a red personality, who's more like a doer but very impulsive, not so structured, this person might tell you, yes, I'm going to do it. At 11:30, you will get a message that they haven't done it yet, and they have some issues with their laptop, and it's not going to work out. And okay. So if you know that you have these two kind of personalities in your team, you let the person play in the role they love to play.
Okay.
So I'm going to give this task to a blue one who is excited about doing it. And I'm not going to give it to a red one who will be like, okay, I'm going to do it, but just because you want it. You know, it's not like they love to do it. So
what kind of task would you give a red person?
A red person is a decision maker. A red person is someone who needs to solve something, also with straight communication. It's someone who just goes out and gets the job done. So this is a red one. It's a very
more high level tasks, more like, here's our problem, I need you to find a solution.
Yes.
Instead of a timeline and like strict step 1, step 2, step 3.
Exactly.
Wow. Fascinating. And can anyone take this test at home now?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
So it's like a patented test. So of course it's not for free. It's you need to pay for it. I think everything which is good, you need obviously to pay for it, but it's worth the money. I can say I did lots of things like this, but Structogram was the one who really convinced me to 100%.
Sounds like it's worth it then.
Yes, absolutely.
I want to switch gears a little bit and talk about, because we've touched on management, and in the last episode we touched a little bit on kind of what success meant to you. But I want to dig a little bit deeper under that layer, because with success comes this idea of failure. And I don't think you can reach success without experiencing some level of failure. Of course, everybody has a different definition, but I'm wondering if you can maybe touch on, because you inspire so many people, if you can share some of your experiences with both of these ideas, success and failure, and how they helped shape where you are today and the success that you're now experiencing.
Okay. I want to start with saying the sentence, you cannot achieve success without failing. Okay. Because failing is a part of success. You might start 500 things. In 499 you will fail, and in one thing you will have success. But it's the 499 things that taught you how to get to the point that your next idea would be the successful one. And it's just a process that everybody needs to go through, because we are getting shaped by failure. Nobody it's almost impossible, or it's an incredible lucky shot if you go like with the first thing and you're really bringing it to the moon at the first shot. It's for sure not so easy, because I think failure is also a process of personal development. If you never fail, you will never get hurt. If it doesn't hurt, it doesn't make you grow. It's always the same thing, and I think it's just a part of it. How you look at failure is for sure a mindset thing. People who fail, if you have like a fixed mindset, you think you're not capable, you're not the person for this. It's not for me. We hear it. People with like a dynamic mindset, an open mindset, think, okay, I'm not there yet. That's the point. So
the magic word. Yet.
Exactly. So you just need to improve. You just need to bring yourself, to elevate yourself to the next level, because I always say the results match always the level of our personal development. You cannot think of staying here, of not to doing extra, but to get like the extra result. It doesn't work like this. You need to bring yourself to the level to bring the outcome on a level. Many times this work here can take as long as you want. This here, it doesn't like come simultaneously. That means you need to bring it here, and then slowly this gets there. But this part many people don't get. So there is also a saying that as an entrepreneur, you need to get through a period where you are really underpaid, to switch to a period where you are like equally fairly paid, to go then to a period where you are like
there's no ceiling.
Exactly.
And
this part where you are underpaid, it hurts, right? Because you say, wow, I'm doing so much, but it doesn't come out. Come out. What I'm putting in doesn't come out. The thing is, are you putting the right things in? Are you working smart? Are you bringing yourself as a person to the next level? Or are you just doing like effort? That's also
like a robot.
Like a robot, just action, but nothing that brings you really forward also from competence, from skills perspective. So I think this is, for many people, it's difficult to understand, because they live as employees today, and this is the switch you need to make from an employee to the entrepreneur, and it's not for everyone.
So much of what you just said there is so important, and I think what people get wrapped up in this idea of success is that they look at entrepreneurs who are successful and they just see the top of the mountain. They look at you, they look at other business owners, CEOs, founders, and they don't see the struggle or the rocky path that it took to get there. So I think what would be really helpful is if we as entrepreneurs or as leaders shared more of those stories, like you were mentioning at the beginning, of, hey, I did fail. This is one time where things didn't work out for me. And this happens all the time. It happens every single mountaintop you get to, there's a higher mountaintop, right?
Absolutely.
So I was wondering if maybe you could share one story or two of a time that you felt failure, you felt disappointed in yourself.
As a leader of such a big organization, you always want to bring people to success, especially the people that are very close to you, your friends, your family, whoever decides to go this journey with you. I learned something. You cannot bring people to success if they don't want it. And to let go, it's some of the hardest things, because people become friends down the road. You really want to bring them with you. You really explain the things that I just explained regarding being underpaid and becoming, etc., etc.
Yeah.
But if in the person the switch doesn't happen, just to give you an example, the fact that I told you that all are different in their personalities, sometimes it's not easy to give to the person what she or he wants, even though you understand what's the personality of this person. Just because the human being is also, the code of the human being is very hard to decode. So it has so many variables inside that it's not just about us.
Yeah.
It becomes about us when we keep staying there and trying and trying and trying, when this person is doing like everything to make us understand, I don't want.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's you cannot like push people to success. It's funny because I still talk about it. I had the chance to learn from a very experienced person, and one of the first things he taught me, Sandro, before you decide to put a camel on your back and bring him to the next fountain to drink, make sure he's thirsty. Otherwise you will have like a cracked back and a camel who doesn't want to drink.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. And I keep telling this small story to the people who are really trying everything to push their people and to feel emotionally also connected. And I tell them, you need to disconnect yourself emotionally from this thing here. It's not that you are not friends anymore, you're not family anymore, and I had to learn this, because many friends at the beginning, they were like super excited about the idea, but they were showing me, I don't want. I don't see it. It doesn't fit in my quotidianity, in my daily. So it was really a bit difficult for me in the beginning. I felt like I failed because I don't have like the skills that I have today. But with the time, I understood it's just part of the process. I learned from this.
Yeah, I love that. And I love what you said before. It's not that you failed, it's that you didn't do it yet. It's that you didn't achieve that step yet. And a lot of the times I find that every door that closes, it's actually a blessing from the universe, because it's leading you in a different direction. It's saying, hey, maybe you thought that this was the way, but I have a better way. So let's go look at this window or this open door over here.
Absolutely. I agree with you.
Amazing. And I'm just curious, because I realized I didn't ask you, do you know what your personality type is?
I'm the blue type.
The blue type, which is?
Very structured, very organized, disciplines, needs perspective, loves to plan.
Okay.
Loves to be in the driver position.
Okay, I love it. And does that affect how you manage other colors? Because you know that for yourself, you need that structure. Like, do you plan your days then very, very structured and very organized? I
told you before, the blue people are very few with respect to the rest. So, of course, being like a source of inspiration for my whole community, who does a to-do list every day? Not so many people. But I keep showing it on Instagram, like I do it like every day. So I'm sure that I became a source of inspiration for many green types, for many red types who started doing this, even though it's not in their nature. Yeah. Number one. Number two, as a blue personality, you are like emotionally more relaxed, I would say. Okay. So you're not really taking everything personal.
Lucky you. Continue.
With so many people, you can say this very loud. Yes, so I'm always a bit more distant. It doesn't mean that I don't care. It's quite the opposite. But the fact that I have the difficulties to show sometimes, it's on the same time also a good thing, because I can keep distance even though I care very much about you. But I also know when to make like the switch between business and private. So for me, it's clear. And having the fact, for example, in my business, we have events like the one we just had in Paris, like the one we had in Italy a few weeks ago. I enjoy these events a lot, but it's not
where you thrive.
Exactly. It doesn't drive me. And I feel this, especially the days after, because the energy level is then super low because I love it, but it costs me a lot on the same time.
You.
Exactly. So I need like 1 or 2 days to recharge.
Yeah.
So that's it. But from the rest, I think that my community has, how should I say it, has lots of profit from the fact that I'm blue type, because the fact that I planned our journey, that I see it, that I need perspective. So I really try to create this perspective for everyone by sharing my vision and telling them where the journey is going. This drives them too, because I think when you can visualize, it's much, much easier to achieve it.
Absolutely. I think last time in the last episode, we also shared some of your daily habits. And I remember that the to-do lists were one of them. So I think I like that. Maybe every episode we can share a suggestion or a tip from you on how you build success. So if you're listening out there, try 7 days every single morning to wake up and write your to-do list before you go about your day. It sounds like it has a big effect on Sandro's life.
Absolutely.
Great. I just want to end with one final question. This is the New Moon podcast, so I want to bring it back to the moon. For these next 30 days, this next moon cycle, what will you personally be working on?
So looking at my schedule, there won't be like one weekend I will not be traveling during the next phase. So it's for me challenging because I'm not used to it. I'm still finding into this new role. I'm a person who loves structure, as you heard, who loves also routine. The fact that I won't be at home so much, I will basically live out of my suitcase for the next 30 days. It's going to be challenging for me. So I will be able to report about it the next time we see each other. But I will take you with me on my journey. So for all those who want to follow me also on Instagram, just look at my stories, at my content. I will be visiting many countries during the next 30 days. So it's going to be an exciting journey.
Wow. It sounds like you're learning how to work on the go.
Yes.
Very flexible, very agile. The new style of working.
Absolutely.
Great. Well, Sandro, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your wisdom on this New Moon podcast. If you liked this episode, please subscribe and leave a comment on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify, the New Moon podcast. And Sandro, maybe you can share where people can find you, your Instagram handle.
Yes, so my Instagram is Sandro, but you replace the A with the 7, which is my favorite number. This is like my main channel, my main way how I connect with people. So I'm very happy to welcome you on my channel.
Amazing. And if you have any questions for Sandro, we are welcoming any questions from the audience. So next time we can cover topics that you really want to hear about. Until next New Moon, thank you.